Hey everyone, I'm Kristen, and this week's Genius recipe is for a chicken Caesar salad with a brilliant dressing that plays double duty, but there is so much more to the genius of it than that. This recipe comes from someone who is very near and dear to the Genius Recipes family, Ali Slagle, who many of you will remember from her years as an editor at Food 52. And she even edited the very first Genius Recipes cookbook back when she worked at 10 Speed Press. While I am finishing upgrading this good pile of cheese, here's Ali to tell us more about why she wanted to call this recipe not just another chicken Caesar salad.
There are a lot of chicken Caesar salad recipes out there, so I called it this just to make it clear that there's something else going on in this recipe. I think the one cool thing that I was really thinking about is the fact that you use half of the dressing to coat the chicken, which has a lot of really good benefits. One of which is that the cheese that's in the dressing toasts on the chicken and it gets nice and brown and crispy.
So now that we've got our big pile of Parmesan cheese grated, we're going to move on to a couple of the other more traditional ingredients for Caesar salad, the garlic and the anchovies. And Ali very smartly has us chop them all together. So here's our garlic, here's our anchovies. Come on over. So far, this recipe has a lot in common ingredient-wise with a recipe that I have written about before on Food 52 and Genius Recipes, which is my dad's Caesar salad. You can find it under Alan McGlory's Caesar salad on Food 52. Except when he first developed his version in the 90s, he was using a few ingredients that were more common to that time and probably more common to being a dad of a teenager. So he would use garlic that was pressed in a garlic press and something called anchovy essence, which is very hard to find now. It's a very specific product that's like anchovy paste, but a little bit creamier and more pourable. If any of you had leads on where to find more anchovy essence, my family is always looking. But I think my dad would probably not want me to tell you all of this because I think at this point he's back to doing it by hand, similar to the way that Ali is doing it. Okay, so while I finish pastifying the anchovies and garlic together, here's Ali to tell us a little bit more about where we start to veer off and get less traditional with this Caesar salad and what some of the more non-traditional ingredients are bringing to the dressing.
Traditional Caesar salad has egg yolk and olive oil, which creates a kind of aioli, which is basically mayonnaise. So my version starts with mayonnaise. And then it goes pretty traditional with anchovies, garlic, lemon, Parmesan. But then the wild cards are soy sauce, which to me does a very similar thing as Worcestershire sauce, which is what you'll traditionally find in Caesar salad. And then there's also a little bit of Dijon mustard. You will see Dijon mustard in some Caesar salad recipes, mostly because it's an emulsifier, so it helps connect the egg to the oil. But I also just think it tastes really good in Caesar salad. It adds sort of like a prickliness to break up all of the rich flavors.
So I have my anchovy garlic paste in here. Let's add in all the other dressing ingredients. We've got mayo for a creamy Caesar dressing, about 2/3 of that parm that I grated. The rest will go into the salad later. The zest of half a lemon, and the juice will come into play later. Some soy sauce, and some Dijon mustard. A couple teaspoons of that. Okay, that's it. That was our double duty dressing that is going to be used half for the salad dressing and half for the chicken marinade. Okay, so these are just some boneless, skinless chicken thighs that I already patted dry, and I'm just gonna season them. I love that Ali doesn't leave anything under-seasoned in this, even though that dressing has so many punchy ingredients in it. She also makes sure that the chicken is not going to be bland underneath by making sure it has some salt and pepper. So I'm just gonna eyeball about half of this dressing is going to go on and marinate the chicken. That seems about right. And if you wanted to do this in advance, I'm sure that it would be great if you wanted to just let it sit in the fridge, even overnight. But you can also just cook it straight away. While my dad's recipe on Food 52 relies on celery for crunch instead of croutons, for me, a good Caesar salad isn't really complete without them. And Allie has a very unfussy way of doing it. So here she is to tell you a little bit more about that, and then we'll go make them.
So basically, to make these croutons, you just fry bread in olive oil in a skillet, and you fry the whole slices and then cut after so that you don't have to toss each little piece in the oil. I also like doing it in the skillet. It's faster than the oven, and you still get kind of like the doughy middle of the bread, whereas in the oven, I feel like they're always kind of hard, or I don't know how to make them or something.
My oil's hot enough, check it out. Can you hear that? Going in. I'm just gonna give those a couple minutes on each side till they're nice and golden. I also wanted to tell you though that Allie did share 3 other recipes from her book all about eggs, so definitely go check out our YouTube channel to watch all of those. These are about there. I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit for the chicken since it'll need a little more time. Get these babies out. I love that Allie does not have us like wipe out the skillet, wash the skillet, get a new skillet. We just go right in. I'm using my instant read thermometer just to be safe. Looking for 165 Fahrenheit. There, it's good. I'm gonna give these other ones a couple more minutes, but I do wanna tell you, Allie also said that this technique works really well on the grill for both the grilled croutons and the chicken. About the same timing. All right, you are done, I believe. Yep, okay.
Well, this under pans, I will not be cleaning.
It's non-stick, it's gonna clean easy. My chicken is all cooked. It is smelling incredible, but it needs to rest for a few minutes. So I'm gonna go prep my greens over there. And while you might think that the dressing, and in this case the chicken, will be what's bringing all of the flavor to a Caesar salad, Allie has some really smart tips for making sure that the lettuces can be just as much of a star. So here she is for more on that.
So in this recipe, it just says crisp lettuces. What I mean by that is little gem, romaine, but also chicories. Little gem and romaine are really sweet, mild, watery lettuces, which goes well and kind of balances the richness of the dressing. But then if you use chicories, either in addition to or instead of, you get kind of this bitter counterpoint, which also breaks up the richness and is just like a very easy way to add yet another layer of flavor to the salad. Oftentimes when you're making a salad, a recipe will say just to toss the lettuce with dressing, but lettuces, especially romaine and little gem, which are so watery, they have to be seasoned on their own. You know, when you roast a vegetable in the oven, you add salt first. So here, I salt the greens and add lemon juice so that they are already flavorful all on their own. And then the dressing is added as kind of its own ingredient to the salad.
So some lemon juice, about 1.5 tablespoons, but I'm just gonna eyeball it. In fact, when I order Caesar salad at a restaurant, usually I ask for extra lemon on the side. As Allie said, because the greens are so watery, it really helps to season them just like the chicken. Make sure they're not bland on the inside. Now, at the last minute, everything else is ready. Time to dress with some of that extra dressing that we set aside. You may or may not need all of it. Maybe start with not all of it, and the parm that we held back. You're all going in. You want some chicken?
Bread.
Oh, bread? Okay.
Do you try one?
Yeah, I would love to try one.
I have one in my hand. Do you want?
I just put it in my mouth. You want to do it too? What do you think?
Good.
Good?
I don't think yummy.
I think it's really yummy. What do you think?
When I get to here. You might have to eat here.
Oh, because is it a little crunchy for you on the outside? I can. The chicken is super yummy.
No, I don't want it.
Okay. Wow. This is an incredible Caesar salad. Allie is so right that it is not just another chicken Caesar salad. It has all of the familiar flavors of anchovy and garlic and lemon and Parmesan, but the flavors are deeper, they're saltier, they're tangier, they're creamier, they're bitter, they're sweet. There's more going on. It just makes for a Caesar salad that is everything you love and just a little bit more. For so much more from Allie about this recipe and how she developed the other gems in her new cookbook, I Dream of Dinner, be sure to check out the Genius Recipe Tapes podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. For more Genius recipes, be sure to hit like and subscribe. For the next few episodes, you will get to see some very, very special guest hosts, and I will be back after that.